8 months ago, I started building this 5-channel YouTube network from scratch. Not because I thought I was going to be Mr. Beast, not because I had some master plan. I had just turned 50. I had quit a part-time job that was making me miserable, and I wanted to see if I could replace that money by making videos around things that I already do. DIY projects around the house, foodie type stuff, sports, and entertainment like movies, music, and on April 18th of 2026, just 8 months after I started, I finally got one of those channels monetized. My first day I made $4.12, and by the end of that partial month, I had made $58.93 from YouTube. And yes, I know some people are going to hear those numbers and have a good laugh at it, and I get it, but I am telling you right now, that day when I saw I made $4.12 from my one channel, that was a hell of a win for yours truly. A big accomplishment, if I do say so myself, because it proved that this thing is real. So in this video, I'm going to show you what my first month of monetization actually looked like, why I built this as a 5-channel network. Here's a hint, it's not because I wanted 5 times the work, and why that tiny first paycheck just might be the motivation for you to get started. Quick backstory on what is going on here with this YouTube network that I started a little over now about 12 months ago, but it took me 8 months from the very beginning of setting things up, setting those 5 channels up to the point to where I finally was able to monetize under the threshold numbers on YouTube, where you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Now those numbers, you get like a soft monetization, the first level of monetization, I believe at 500 subscribers, 3,000 watch hours, and they turn a few things on for your channel. And I hit the 4,000 watch hours on my DIY channel, I think within about 6 months. The hours came easier for me just because of the type of content I'm doing on my DIY channel. What works, what doesn't work. I am learning how to do this. I just turned 50 and quit my part-time job last summer because it just got to the point to where I'm driving home, and I remember the moment that this happened. I am driving home from a part-time job that was supposed to be easy. That's basically just to bring in a little extra cash into the pockets. And I was able to stick it out for I think almost a year, to the surprise of my wife, who thought I would only last 2 or 3 months because I don't work well with others. And I know you hear a lot of people that say that. Now, I am a very easy person to get along with as long as you leave me alone. I get my stuff done. I'm responsible. I'm good at what I do. But let's just say when nonsense is brought to my table, I reflect that 10 times. Maybe I'm not an easy person to be with. Maybe it is me. That's a whole nother thing. But anyways, I am driving home after wanting to punch out maybe 2 or 3 people that I work with, and I am white knuckle driving on the highway, and I start to kind of white out. Blood pressure is going, and it's over stupid things. And I was telling myself, I was like, I enjoy being creative. I have my own photography company on the side that I've done for over 20 years. I love being creative. This was a separate kind of a maintenance, blue collar type job, again, that I was supposed to do just for a few hours a week, diversify the income stream, and just something that kind of gets me out and detaching from the world. I came to the conclusion that I had to do something else. And why not start investing in myself and believing in myself and doing things that I kind of want to do that's creative? I enjoy making videos. It's something that I have learned over the years of being a photographer and a videographer, that I enjoy the normal aspects of doing stuff in my everyday life, making those into a video and sharing those on my channels. I actually have a really good time doing it. I think I have a pretty good sense of humor. I think a lot of people, enough people, understand and respond to that sense of humor. And so I was just asking myself, why can't I start something on YouTube and start bringing in the same amount of money at the very least? That's the floor. My thing was, how can I not make money on YouTube that could easily replace the money I was making on this part-time job? So yeah, it was basically overnight I decided to go ahead and quit that job and I immediately just started creating this 5-channel network. I had no specific idea on the details. I just knew the general direction of where I wanted to go. I didn't want to create extra work for me on a day-to-day basis, but I wanted to basically follow along and record and make videos of things that I normally would do in my everyday life. And I wanted to split it up into 5 different channels, not to make myself crazy, because one channel is absolutely hard enough to do. That's the one common question I get, especially when I did that Reddit AMA the other night, and I had literally 1,000 questions from people. How can I keep up with, and how can I do 5 different channels? And really my explanation is this: I set up the 5 channels pretty much for an organizational method for potential subscribers. Everything that I'm interested in, everything that I want to do is going to be very hard to appeal to any other person out there in the real world. So for example, I'm really big recently in the last few years into DIY and being able to fix things around my house. Plus, as a homeowner, you're constantly fixing your own things to save money. But I'm also kind of a foodie and a cook. I love to eat. I love to experiment with recipes. I love to garden. I love movies. I love music. I'm passionate about certain sports. When you start thinking about these in a Venn diagram and those big circles, a lot of those are not going to overlap. I can't just throw all of that stuff that I'm interested in into one channel and then expect somebody out there, out in the real world, when they stumble across my videos, to be like, ooh, I'm interested in all this stuff, I want to subscribe. So therefore, I made 5 channels to make it easier for people to know what kind of content they're getting into when they discover me on YouTube. So with my TSP DIY channel, for the most part, 99% of all the content on that DIY channel is just DIY content. You're not going to come across all the other nonsense that I'm into. You're going to be like, I like this Brian guy. I like the way he presents his information. I like DIY stuff also. I would like to follow him. So that's why I set up my channels this way. So I have a separate DIY channel. I have an entertainment channel, a food channel, a sports channel, and then basically my hub channel, which is where I talk about this journey of creating the network, as well as all of that stuff gets thrown into that one channel. So if you are by chance just a fan of Brian and you want to see all of that, you can absolutely go to just the hub channel and see all the content that I do, in addition to this YouTube journey of starting it as a 50-year-old. But if you're only interested in just one of those things, there is a specific channel for you to subscribe to. Again, I am not making extra work for me other than the recording and the editing. And yes, that is a lot of extra work. But all of the stuff that you see on all 5 channels are things that I am already doing in life. I'm either just whipping out the camera or my phone, doing some video and then editing it and then packaging it up for each of the specific channels. So the basic idea I had with each one of them is, okay, whatever I'm doing for the day on a random Wednesday, I can record that content, it has a home, it has a channel it can go on. I don't have to feel guilty about putting food content onto my DIY channel, or wondering, oh, my DIY people are going to hate seeing that I play video games and I'm into movies or whatever. I can continue to do things that I am passionate about, and it has an actual home to go on that other people are going to appreciate when they subscribe to that particular channel. So let's talk some numbers. I wanted to make sure everything was verified for that first month before we started talking about some numbers. And then I wanted to make sure that money ended up in my account. I can see it. I can withdraw it if I wanted to. I can use that money that I made on the DIY channel that was monetized in 8 months. I wanted to make sure all of that was all ready to go before we started talking about it. So that's why we're a few months out from talking about what happened back in April, 3 months ago. So that very first day that I was monetized, April April 18th, 2026, that first number that comes in on your YouTube Studio app on your phone, which is what I absolutely recommend that you use to kind of follow along and monitor your channels. If you are making channels to either monetize or to grow them, you need something to kind of keep track of all of the numbers, the monetary stuff, to keep track of comments on all of your channels or just your one channel. Everything can go through YouTube Studio. It's actually fairly good. It's a pretty good app. Not perfect, but it's really good. But April 18th was that first day to where I saw $4.12. Now, I was ecstatic about it. $4.12. That was the first time that I visually could see that what I was doing, I was making progress. That was like my first mile of a marathon that you run. You got to take it step by step. You don't overnight start making Mr. Beast money or whatever, which, you get tired of hearing when you make channels or whatever. Well, you try to be Mr. Beast or something. No, I'm not trying to make $50 million a week. I'm just trying to replace my part-time job money at first. So $4.12 for me, April 18th, that was a big day. And I remember making some videos, and I know a lot of people were clowning, oh, this guy's making $4.12 for the day. This is nothing. Hey, $4.12, when you think about it, that is day one for me. I'm not laughing or snickering at $4.12 because that shows that I have started something on YouTube from scratch to where now it's just a matter of making it more efficient, making better videos. $4.12 on that first day on just my first of the 5 channels that I'm doing this with. And I do feel like each day that goes by that I'm creating content for the 5 channels, each week that goes by, each month now that goes by, I do feel like I am getting better and better. I'm finding my voice, which is evident in the numbers that I'm starting to see on not only all 5 of my channels, but our bonus channel, which is on Instagram, which kind of is everything that I do. My view numbers are increasing at a rate to where I feel like I have finally unlocked something to where I am finding my voice. I am finding that formula that works for me and that is working for each one of my channels. Most of my YouTube shorts, my Instagram reels, on average, I would get in between 200 and 500 views. That would be my standard average view count. If I got that, I was happy. 300 to 500 people watching my content. Yeah, that's pretty cool. As I am getting a little bit better and I am finding my voice, my content is getting out there, that 300 to 500 on average is now into the thousands, to where I absolutely believe this little tidbit here. Once you monetize, especially on YouTube, once you monetize, that is the signal for YouTube to turn that faucet on just a little bit more. That is my working theory right now. Because ever since April 18th, things have been going pretty good for myself and for my channels. And I'm seeing the trend rate kind of going up. Those initial monetization levels that you have to reach, 500 and 3,000, and then 1,000 and 4,000 watch hours, I think those are trial numbers really for the platform, for YouTube to be like, okay, this person is serious about it. We can now turn the faucet on just a little bit more because our platform, we now trust this creator that they're in it for the long haul. So I actually kind of like that they have that threshold on the monetization number, because that way not anybody can just jump right in, especially just on the short term. This is the signal to YouTube that you are in it for the long haul, and then they're ready to play some ball with you. And now you can get monetized and start making a little bit of money. Now, $4.12 on that first day. And then by the end of April, we made a modest $58.93 for the end of April. $58 is real money. $58 is something that I was able to start up from scratch from YouTube, doing things that I normally would just be doing for free anyways. There is nothing really special that I'm doing other than I just had the motivation to just get started. There is nothing unique about any of the channels that I do. There is nothing really unique in the videos that I do, other than really that I'm doing them is the only unique thing. But when you look at it, I'm just the dime a dozen. I'm one of millions of people that have created content out there, but there is something that is resonating with people. And again, nothing here is perfected. This studio is a mess. The TV is broken. I've got things just laying out. The lighting's okay. It's not the best setup. It's not the worst setup, but I'm keeping it like this. I'm keeping it to where I don't have to worry about how I look when I get on camera, because I want others that are out there that are wanting to start a YouTube channel and wanting to give this a try to look at me and say, hey, I'm kind of just like this dude. I can absolutely do what this guy's doing. And there's some things that I can do better. And then there's some things that I can't do as well as him, but I can work on it. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. Obviously, a whole lot of other stuff that we can talk about, but basically that first month is over, done with, in the books. The money is in the account. It's real money. April 18th, took me 8 months to get $4.12 for that very first day. And then by the end of April, we had $58.93 deposited into our account. Actually, you need a threshold of I think it's like $100 before YouTube will kick out the money or something. But that $58.93 is accounted for, has been transferred, and is in my account. If you have any questions about the process, about getting started, you just need some motivation, let me know. I would be happy to try to help anybody out there that is wanting to give this a try, whether because they're doing it for fun or whether they feel like they have to. But normal, regular people can absolutely not only do YouTube, but monetize YouTube. This is nothing special. You don't have to have your boobs out. You don't have to have your butt hanging out. You don't have to be doing stupid dances, which, hey, look, maybe I shouldn't have said that, because everybody does their own thing. Yes, some of the dances are kind of cute to watch and choreographed and all this stuff. But what I'm trying to get across is you can be as deep or superficial as you want. You just have to get started, and you just have to have a little bit of patience to keep going. And a little teaser about this for the next video. My next month is when I actually got my first 1 million view video. The money is real, folks.